It's been 3 years since we got a moose, and that means that our family has been out of moose meat for 2 years, and we love eating our moose meat. Day one, and it's looking nasty out there right now. So this is a draw-only hunt here in Alaska. My buddy Ian has put in for this many times over the past 7 years, since we built these homemade mini jet boats. There's a first for everything. A ladder. He brought a ladder.
That is the blue piece of glacier.
I would have to say this hunt was probably one of the most brutal hunts I have been on since living in this great state over the past 13 years. You can normally only get here when the water's high. This is on the 20 Mile River just outside of Girdwood, which is considered a temperate rainforest, and this just happened to be one of the wettest years on record, so that sure made it hard hunting these moose in the swamps. Day one. It's getting late. There's three bulls. They're 1,000 yards away, so they're still in velvet. Might be. They're kind of coming this way, but it'd be really hard to call them in. So we just drove the boats around. We're gonna try to hit these guys off without. Hopefully we don't make too much noise. Trying to get across where this beaver dam is. At this point, we were nowhere near the end of the swamp where those moose were, and it was getting late. It was super thick, so it was time to go home. All right, it's been 2 weeks since day one. Day two, here we go. We got camp set up. Home sweet home. Well, last time this was pretty much underwater and we came in over there, but water's going way down. You know, as a full-time woodworker, content creator, husband, father, You know, it's pretty dang hard to get the time to make these videos. I'm into this video for about 130 hours of editing, and without today's sponsor, it'd be really hard for me to produce today's video. So thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. You know, I talked about it in my last video. Last year I had a pretty bad case of burnout. You know, and sometimes you need somebody to talk to. You know, and I've been struggling with my mental health. Lots of ups and downs. Been down some pretty dark holes too. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to ask for some help to dig yourself out of some of those holes. A company like BetterHelp provides a really good solution for that. Not everybody has an understanding wife like I do. Lucky for that. Being able to have the opportunity to go on a hunt like that, even as hard as it is really is an amazing thing to do for your mental health. I'll provide a link for BetterHelp down below in the description and right here. Really, it was really easy. You just answer a few questions, and for me, they linked me up with a therapist within 24 hours. And I think they say up to 48 hours. You can talk to them via messaging, email, video chat, and make it pretty easy. Don't take my word for it. Check it out yourself, do your research, see if it's right for you. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's video. You know, I know it seems like when it rains, it pours, but my new favorite quote that really helps me get through some of that is, every storm runs out of rain. Keep on keeping on, guys. It's just half impossible to see the moose because this is head high right here. And this is a huge field. So we're gonna go up there. Running. I saw something running. Okay, so this is a little bit better bull. Let's go. Okay, we got like 15 minutes left to shoot. And it's cold. We're both shaking. And he's about 250 yards out. We're just not going to be able to get to him. So instead of spooking him, I think we're going to have to wait till tomorrow. So we got to head into this tree line and go this way, but we're exposed right here and we can't get to him. This is like, do you shoot him? Do you not shoot him? So it's 10:30. Finally having got some dinner ready. Trying to have a little fire. It's been dumping rain, so hopefully we will get those 2 moose tomorrow. Moose jalapeno cheddar dogs. Day 3. So it absolutely dumped on us last night. We must have had solid inch of rain. We got fresh snow in the mountains. So it's normally a good sign. It starts getting the moose fired up and pushing them down a little bit. We left last night with a couple of moose here, so hopefully we'll see them. A little meat moose. There over there. Making lunch, gonna head out. Chief is crushing the sandwich job here. Look how gorgeous it is right now. I'm pretty surprised at my last hunting video from a couple years ago. I had a ton of questions about what is this jet boat. Well, about 7 years ago, we built these jet boats from scratch, mostly from scratch. We wanted a center console and there was no plans for them, so we found a set of plans for a 14-foot mini jet boat that we thought we could modify. It turns out we had to scrap everything except for the bottom because the plans were really bad. We modified the bottom to work and then basically built the boat from scratch from the bottom up. Took about 2,200 hours worth of work, 2,500 hours worth of work. $10 months of 8 to 12-hour days, 7 days a week. So Ian is stuck there, and I'm stuck right here. There's a lot more shallow than I thought. This does look really moosey though. Probably not the best financial decision, taking that much time off of work, but I'd have to say it was probably one of the best learning experiences I have ever had. We did overbuild them. They were our first boats, so they weigh about 1,800 pounds, which is pretty hard to push by yourself when you get really high-centered. We used the Honda Aquatrax jet ski motors as donors, so they're turboed 200 horsepower. The boats are a bit heavy for the pumps. All in all, not too bad for our first build, I think. We did build our boats differently, although they're almost the same. We each did our own take. They draft in about 8 or 9 inches of water just sitting there and can run in about 3 inches of water. They do have full UHMW, and really they don't mind hitting rocks and ice and trees and stuff like that for the most part, gravel bars. I swear I've been asked 1,000 times for the plans for this boat build, but we don't have any plans. We basically built them with a skill saw, jigsaw, router, sawzall, and a welder. All right, we got stuck, and our sand traps are full of crud in there, and it's so silty and sticky it won't spit it out. Got it all out. Pain in the butt. Ian's boat overheated, it filled up so much. This stuff is so high. Day 3, still raining. Day's about over. Not looking good. Day 3 has come to an end. More rice, some wet, soggy fire, And a couple of brewskis. Morning. Day 4. Rainy, rainy, rainy. So first thing this morning, we decided we wanted to find the end of the swamp again. So we drove the boats around and we went through all of these little creeks and swamps and still didn't find the main swamp we were looking for. So day 4 here, it was wet, nasty, and we're gonna go back home for a couple of days. So it's our last little spot we checked. Be back in a couple of days. Here we are, day 5 on the mud flats, getting ready to get out of here. It's supposed to be crazy wet again, so day 5, we'll see how it goes. Tons of moose prints all around this little sandbar. And it sounds like somebody got a moose here yesterday. We didn't want to go too far in there because there might be a bear on the gut pile, and there was some fresh bear signs, so skip it. One of those air plants my wife likes to keep. We covered a lot of ground on day 5, and really it was pretty disappointing. We saw some good moose signs, but we didn't see any moose, and the rain just did not stop. Oh. Oh. It's so hard to keep your camera gear dry when it's raining so much. I have this medium mic kit on this GoPro, and it really isn't supposed to be in the rain. So this is a mixed bag of being filmed with 2 different GoPros, and actually I mostly use my cell phone because it's a little more waterproof with the microphone. The GoPro without the microphone is totally waterproof, but it just doesn't have good audio quality. And I didn't dare take out the good camera during this kind of weather. Nice work, Chief. So we got moose hot dogs, some instant taters, and a beer, some cheese. Trying to stay out of the rain. Day 6. We found this fresh moose lay right in between camp and the tree stand.
I'd rather do this, all this, than hunt in the rain for another week. That's true. Rather pack the moose out of the swamp than stay in the rain for 5 more days. 2 bulls right there. So we tried to find the end of the swamp, but it's not easy going. That was rough. That was a long hike, probably, I don't know, 4 hours through the alders, only to find out that we way overshot the swamp.
Day 7. So hopefully we get one this time. It'll be 3 days out. You ready, Chief? Are we getting one this time? We heard there was a big bullwinkle back there.
Holy cow, that is a low bridge right now.
The Turnagain Arm here has some massive tide swings. Up to 40 feet, I believe. And when we were pulling in, there was a ton of people out there looking for the beluga whales that show up. So we were gone for 2 days, and we missed the biggest part of the storm, but the water's come up big time. I mean, this is where we're having a campfire and our cooking station just earlier. Now I gotta figure out a way to get across this high water to go back and forth to our tent, but water's coming down fast, so hopefully it won't be too bad. Well, at least it's not raining, that's first. Built a little bridge, got camp set up. Time to go find a moose. Someone had told Ian just the day before that there was a big moose up in that area where we got the boat stuck earlier on in our season here. So we headed up there, go see if we could find him. After hitting the rest of the spots throughout the day, we decided to close the night off back in the tree stand. And we waited, and we waited. We really had decided that if we see him in the swamp, we're just going to go for it. Regardless of how hard of the pack is going to be to get out of the swamp, we just did not want to be stuck there in the rain for another day. So we went for it.
Go Jason. Okay, so we got a little bull out here, and now we did some cow calls and some raking, and now this big bull just came out. Looks like he might want to play. So we're losing daylight. It's been about an hour, and they've moved up here about 100 yards, but there's no way we're going to get to them. It's getting late. We can't cross this open field. It's getting late, but they're coming in, so I think we're going to take it.
We were doing our cow calls as usual, but they weren't really responding. They covered 5 times more ground in 10 minutes than they did in the past hour. And I know I had heard something in the bushes here, and then it turns out this female cow moose walked right by us and told these bulls where we were.
That was a cow. Do you see the cow? Yeah. That was the one I heard. That's a warning. No. I think that's a warning. He's still coming. Late night. Fuck. Should we just go down and let him? He's in the swamp. Yeah. Yeah, he's going down. We got work to do. Yeah, let's plan. Fuck. Okay, we're going back to camp. We'll get all our stuff.
Yep.
You got him? Okay.
Medium swamp.
Medium swamp?
I mean,
Yeah, he ended up.
could be worse.
Okay. Hi, big boy. Thank you for the food.
Thank you for feeding the families.
Trying to get him out of the swamp.
Oh, a branch or some shit over here. Oh, the ropes.
Nice moose, Chief.
Yeah. It's legal, at least.
Yeah. These swamp donkeys. This is fun, but we found a little dry spot. Did a little rope come along, and did most of it. And he's out of the main part of the swamp, so we get a clean harvest. But we are going to gut him, open him up, and come back in the morning. It's nice and cool. Here we are. It is day 8. So we got a moose last night, and we're going to be packing him out of the field, and might get a little bit graphic for some viewers. So we got the moose gutted last night. We got his hide, his cape mostly off of him, and he is sitting in the cold swamp. It got nice and cold last night. So as long as there's not a bear on it, I'm feeling pretty confident about our meat. Okay, so we put a stick in the moose's mouth to see if, while we're walking up through the swamp, if a bear's gotten on the moose. So it looks like everything's good. Some ravens were on it and they knocked it over a little bit, but she's cooled down nicely. Ready to finish the job. As some of you know, and you can imagine, harvesting an animal like this that's 12 to 1,600 pounds is no easy task, especially in the swamp, and the bugs are just crazy, and then you add rain on top of that. So I forgot to film us using my Alaskan Hunter knife, which I designed this past year, and I've collaborated with a local knife maker here in Alaska. Some of you know I'm a woodworker, so I make the chaotic handles, and I designed 2 different sizes of this knife, and I worked with Josh at Wilder Alaska Knives here to put these together. He did an amazing job with these. We've done 2 batches of 10, which are long sold. The knives worked phenomenal. They stayed sharp, they cut really well, they fit ergonomically really well in your hand. I'm working with 3 more knife makers currently to do a couple of small batches of some variations of this knife. Pretty much have to take everything, so we got all the quarters and the ribs and back straps and all the good stuff in there. Now we got a long pack out. What do you think, 160 pounds? 120 pounds? Dude, this thing's actually pretty heavy.
There's a moose right behind us.
Going your way.
1, 2, 3.
Oh! Jesus! Oh my God! Fuck. Oh, that's a lot of burger. Whew. I've heard over the years from many other hunters how fun it is to pack a moose out of the swamp. Now that I've done it myself, I can say that I am not looking forward to ever doing it again. Probably the main reason why I won't be interested in hunting this area again. I'm looking forward to going back to my old hunting grounds.
It's not getting any easier. It's a lot of work for some groceries. This swamp part's getting worse.
Yeah.
You okay, Chief?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the fucking roses. 2 more trips.
What are we doing now, Chief?
Ribs.
Last load.
Last load.
Holy cow. There's been 8, maybe 10 trips total. 22 minutes each way.
Here's our moose. That was a lot of fun. I think it was about 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening when we finished packing the moose to camp. At that point, we either stayed another night and figured out a way to hang the moose, or we pack up camp and try to make it out of there before dark. So we opted to not be in the rain for one more day and head home. We got camp moved in one boat trip, and then we got the moose moved in one boat trip. Sure made for a long day. Normally when we get a moose and we show up at the house at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to pull the moose out of the boats and hang them at 2, 3 in the morning is just brutal. This was the first time hanging the moose in the shop, and using the forklift really saved our butts. So all the bags on the forklift there are all the pieces that don't have a bone in them. This is the next morning, and we are getting ready to process the moose.
Start with the fun part or the easy part?
So the easy part is the back straps and the tenderloins. The fun part is things like the neck meat that really are hard to do. We try to keep everything as clean as possible. We really spend a lot of time to get rid of a lot of the silver skin and big tendons. So this is last night's work. We try to sanitize everything and really make this a really food safe process. We also try to keep the shop at the lowest temperature as possible, and it was nice and cool. We were in between 45 and 55 degrees most of the time. We try to break down the larger muscle groups into one piece so that you can get your nice roasts. Really is a long process, but I think it's worth it. You get to know that your meat is done correctly. Okay, we're on day 3 of cutting here. Should be able to finish it. We've done all the neck meat, backstrap tenderloin, a front and rear quarter, and a rib. These vacuum chamber style machines are incredible. This one is Ian's. I hope to get one soon. They really leave a professional style bag for your food. And when done right, they last a long time in the freezer. I'm trying to keep the kids busy while we're cutting. Okay, we're making sausage, so we're gonna cut our moose 50-50 with pork butt and pork belly. We get our sausage seasonings from our local butcher supply place here in Alaska, and we mix the seasonings right away in the first grind and the second grind. The first grind is the coarse grind, and the second grind is the fine grind. We try to keep the meat partially frozen while doing this process so that it stays as cool as possible while running through the grinder. The spicy Italian sausage that we do is just phenomenal. It is my favorite, absolute favorite. Now we package our sausages raw so we don't have to add nitrates. You can see the difference between the coarse grind and the fine grind right here. Now we do turn a lot of our moose into burger. It was really nice having both our wives help us out for a while. Our everyday burger that we use has nothing in it, it's just straight moose. I do a small portion of burger that is going to be for hamburgers, and I add 10% pork to that just to help it with a little bit of juiciness on the grill, because you can see this meat is so lean. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. Swamp to table. Ian also canned some bone broth and took the shanks and canned those as well, and that worked out really great. We've put them in some pho that my wife makes, and it's amazing. The Alaskan Hunter knife collaboration video is in the works. Classic. I don't know what to call these yet. We'll see you guys on the next round.